Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today in Should You Buy It, we are going to be talking all about ColourPop and Kathleen Lights and her brand new collaboration that she just came out with called Dream Street. So I love Kathleen Lights. I feel like Kathleen was one of the first YouTubers who I started watching that I really like and still like now. She's not super over the top like a lot of YouTubers, I guess, are becoming. So I really appreciate that. When it comes to her, I remember when she collaborated with Morphe, I was really excited about her collaboration and I loved that palette. So when I saw that she was coming out with a ColourPop collaboration, I was really excited because I haven't tried too many pressed eyeshadow palettes from ColourPop besides the Yes Please eyeshadow. So I did go ahead and pick up the Dream Street palette, and I want to talk to you guys about what I think, my review, and I am going to do a couple of swatches so that you guys can see the quality of these eyeshadows. Okay, so little backstory. When I first saw Kathleen's video about the collaboration, I wasn't really that intrigued by it just because the colors in the eyeshadow palette didn't grab my attention. They were colors that I didn't think that I would actually ever use. But as I started kind of thinking about it, I was like, well, I'm kind of tired of having the same type of palettes with the neutrals or like the reds that I have because that's kind of what I gravitate towards. And this palette, while it does have neutrals, it does have other pops of colors that I appreciate. And I was like, well, it's $16. Why not? So before I get into the actual eyeshadow palette, I do want to let you guys know that her collection consists of the Dream Street eyeshadow palette and 3 different lip colors. So she came out with an orangey satin lip gloss and then I think a pink salmony satin color as well. I didn't pick up any of the lip colors just because I just didn't think that they were my kind of colors. I know that the nude pink looks really pretty, but I feel like it could look too pink on me, and then like really pink colors tend to make my teeth look yellow, so I didn't want that. The fire orangey red that she came out with is a beautiful color, but I don't think that kind of color suits my skin tone very well. They look really good on her because I've seen her wear them a lot of times. But on me, they just I don't think that they would look very pretty. Also, I remember whenever I think, Lush Deluxe and Desi came out with their Dose of Colors collection, they had a lip color that was like that intense orange. And I was like, man, I want that color, but I just don't feel like I can pull that off. Remember, I barely started wearing lipstick, so I feel like I'm kind of like barely diving into lip colors. Like I'm not that bold. You know, I wear either nudes or maybe a red, and that's as good as it's gonna get for me. So it wasn't my cup of tea per se. And then she did come out with a lip gloss. I'm not a huge lip gloss person, so I didn't really feel like I wanted to buy that. Although I will say that I am wearing her lip trio, one of her lip trio lip colors, and it's her Aquarius lip gloss. And I do really like ColourPop's lip gloss formula. It doesn't feel sticky at all, and I do enjoy that lip color. So anyways, back to the palette, which is right here. I love Kathleen's Dream Street packaging. I think it's beautiful. I love the rose gold, and I think it's really pretty. I like that she was able to kind of do her own thing on the packaging of the eyeshadows, because I know that sometimes ColourPop's, packaging can be very simple. Although I will say that their new packaging with all the eyeshadow palettes that they're coming out with, they are pretty cute. Here's my thing with ColourPop though. I feel like they are kind of releasing so many things that I just put them on the back burner because I can't keep up with that much makeup. They come out with a new palette like every single day, and when brands do that, I just tend to not care about all their releases because I don't have that much money to be spending. Even though these palettes are cheap, like I'm not gonna be dropping $16 every single 2 days when they drop a palette. So when Kathleen came out with this, I did actually kind of get more intrigued with ColourPop again, and I had just purchased the Yes Please palette because I wanted it as a dupe for the Natasha Denona. So I was kind of rekindled with ColourPop. So this is the eyeshadow palette itself. I really like that it comes with the names on the back. I love that ColourPop does that on their eyeshadow palettes. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter if you don't do YouTube, but I feel like it's just cool to have the names. So the packaging, I love that it still is the same as the box. It's really pretty. And this is what the palette looks like. The colors are absolutely beautiful. It doesn't come with a mirror, but I don't care. That doesn't bother me. I don't care if palettes don't come with mirrors. I know to some people it does, but to me, I mean, the palette was $16. I feel like not having a mirror is just fine. So these are all the colors that the palette comes with. I love this palette. This palette's eyeshadows just blend beautifully. I love the mattes. The mattes are a little harder to work with sometimes. I think just because, maybe it's just me, but I've been having like really hard time blending eyeshadows, and not just these, so I'm not gonna blame it on ColourPop, but like right here, my eyeshadow just hasn't been blending and I don't know why. So I have been having some issues with that, but I don't think it's the eyeshadow's problem, it's my problem. So anyways, the palette comes with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mattes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like Super Shock, like a very intense eyeshadows. And then I think this one's kind of like a satin. So when I first saw this palette, the reason why I didn't want to buy it was because of these really intense blues. I am not really big on wearing that intense of a color on my eye. But what I thought about it, when I thought about it, I was like, well, you know what? I want to venture out and not just do the same looks over and over again. So I was like, this palette has colors that I would use and then colors that would kind of get me to go out of my comfort zone. Like these colors right here, these 4 are colors that I love, that I gravitate towards. And so I felt that it was okay to buy the palette having these 2 colors in it because it had all these other colors that I know that I would use. So overall, I think this palette is amazing. These 2 colors right here remind me of these 2 Super Shock eyeshadows that Kathleen Lights actually recommended. So when I first wanted to buy something from ColourPop, I was watching videos and I wanted to see what people recommended from ColourPop. Well, Kathleen has a video from a long time ago where she kind of comes up with all of her favorite ColourPop products, and she talks about these 2 Super Shock eyeshadows, and they actually look exactly like these 2 colors. And I think it's called, I don't remember off the top of my head what the 2 colors she recommends are, but I actually ended up buying them, and they're some of my favorite eyeshadows. The only problem is that I forget about my Super Shock eyeshadows because of the pot kind of thing. I just feel like I leave them in the back of my counters, but I do love them and I do use them. I used it recently. But anyways, these 2 colors are absolutely beautiful. I love them. They do kind of look similar. This one's a little more rose gold and this one's kind of like a reddish rose gold, or I don't know. I can't describe colors very well, but they do look similar, but they're really not. And then this one right here is the only one I kind of had an issue with. It's a beautiful color in the pan, but it doesn't swatch that pretty. And I was watching Manny MUA's video. Ooh, this just broke apart on me. And he was saying that he was having issues with this color as well. They are a little powdery, but I don't mind that. I mean, they're not super awful. But this is the color, and this is the color, sorry, I have the names, it's just that it's hard with these palettes. It's called Sweet Dreams. Yeah, Sweet Dreams, Water Bear, Potion, and Spark. Okay, so yeah, Sweet Dreams is a really pretty color as well. I just feel like it has more chunkier glitter, so it's hard to pick up. But the thing that I like about this is that I feel like if you apply a color on your eyelid, you can put this on top of it and it kind of makes it kind of pop. So this color was the only one that I was kind of about. And this color I love. I love for your inner tear duct, and it's a really beautiful color that I don't see very often. It's kind of like a iridescent with blue specks in it. It's really pretty. I love it for my inner corner. It's called Kaleidoscope, and I like that name for this color because it really does remind me of a kaleidoscope when I swatch it and look at it. But the 2 colors, actually the 3 colors that really caught my eye were Water Bear and Mermaid Boy and Spark. I really like this really pink spark color. I think that it's going to look really pretty for summer. Like I said, I think that this palette has a really interesting combination of colors. You wouldn't, like, I feel like she did a really good job of including a variety of colors and not making the palette boring, you know, like it has burst of colors. And then this color, Water Bear, it's so pigmented, So beautiful. Does not swatch like patchy whatsoever. It reminds me of a color that I think was in the Anastasia, what was that palette that everyone hated? I don't remember. But one of that Anastasia palette had like a blue color like that, and I really wanted to get that palette, and then everyone was like, well, it sucks, so I didn't end up getting it. But then the next one is Mermaid Boy, and it's this beautiful teal iridescent color. I can't wait to do a look with these two. I haven't had the chance to do it because I haven't been able to really play with this palette because I use it when I go to work, and I'm not going to use those two blue colors for when I go to work because, again, I'm a teacher and that's weird. They're going to be like, what are you going to, a New Year's Eve party? I don't know. So anyways, I love this palette overall. I think that the colors are beautiful. I just did a couple of swatches for you guys. I don't want to swatch all of them just because I'm going to get my shirt dirty. So those are just some of the colors that are my top favorites, and my dog just brought me a Santa Claus toy. So anyways, the one thing I will say is that if you're trying to look for a palette that maybe will be like your everyday palette or a palette that you can use when you travel and just bring one palette, I don't think necessarily this would be a good palette for that. I think that if you have a big makeup kind of like collection, this is a really awesome palette to add to your collection because of the pops of color that this palette like brings. But I feel like if you're new to makeup and you're kind of starting off and you need a palette that can be like your everyday palette, I don't think that this palette would necessarily be your best choice. Now, I don't know. I mean, you might be like starting makeup and just jump the gun and start using these blue colors, but I know when I started using makeup, I wanted very light colors. And while this palette does have those light colors, I just don't think that it's a palette that is very easy to use all on its own. Does that make sense? Like, I love these shimmers, but I do have to go into another palette and get maybe more matte colors to kind of add more to my eyeshadow. So, but I can do that because I have so many palettes. But like I said, if you're kind of starting off with makeup, I don't know if this would be the palette to go for. There are so many other palettes that ColourPop has that could give you that. But for me, I think this palette is amazing. I don't have any colors like this in my collection. I do have colors like this, but the quality of them is just so amazing. I mean, they look amazing on your eyes. And I love this pink. I can't wait to use it. So overall, this palette was definitely worth the $16. I do recommend it, but I do think that it's not a palette that you can use maybe all on its own or that will give you the versatility to do everyday makeup looks on the go or traveling. But I do think it's worth it. It's $16. I mean, why would it not be worth it? So I am very pleased with it. Kathleen Lights did a great job choosing the colors. They're so her. You know, she does so many of those pink looks and the teal looks, so I think she did a really good job of showcasing her personality in the palette, and I'm very, very excited, and I know I'll be using it for a lot of different reasons. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and that you guys kind of get a little bit more of an insight on the Kathleen Dream Street palette. I haven't really seen a lot of reviews on this palette. I don't know why. It did take a little longer to ship to me because I think that it's fairly new. So I hope that this video helped you guys figure out if you want to buy the Kathleen palettes. I definitely recommend it. Let me know if you guys are going to end up picking it up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.